Today, we need to talk about stream coaches. Stream Coach Academy has opened up for its latest round of applications, and this latest announcement has been met with so much controversy online, particularly on Twitter, as some people really strongly believe that stream coaching is a scam. And mostly this has come from more experienced streamers who would have grown and managed their streams in a completely different way to the way people of today who are less experienced and have been streaming for a smaller amount of time would now look to grow and improve their streams moving forward. And so it's not just these big streamers though, but it's those who either follow them or are big fans of these streamers. It's these people that want to be seen to be on the side of that streamer. They're also jumping in on the bandwagon here, and it's creating this massive outrage that I don't think really belongs on Twitter over this particular subject. And this isn't a video where I want to weigh in on whether Stream Coach Academy is a scam or whether it's not, or how good it is, how bad it is. But what I do want to use this video to do is to help educate people on the benefits of coaching, because I really do believe that if you do coaching right, then being coached by someone professional, someone more experienced with you and who can help you generate better ideas is a hugely valuable way to grow and improve your stream. So today I'm going to explain why I'm not doing Stream Coach Academy, oddly enough, but even though I think it could be worthwhile, it's just not something I'm in the right place for just yet, and I'll explain that later. But I'm also going to explain why it could be valuable to you and the things that you need to know before engaging really any kind of coach for self-development or personal improvement, not just for streaming. Hi, I'm Tom, also known as Brick Guy, and I help content creators build their ultimate stream life balance, enabling them to grow and improve their streams while smashing everything else life has to throw at them. If you want to see more of me outside of this YouTube channel, then I stream to Twitch on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and you can also find me in the Discord. We have a new group full of like-minded streamers just like you. The links to all of that will be in the description below. So here we are today talking about stream coaching. And there's a couple of caveats before we get started that I want to share with you before I go into all the details and everything that happens with coaching. The first is that, of course, there might be a little bit of bias. Maybe that will come across. I'm trying to be as balanced as possible and not display any bias towards coaches in their favor. However, naturally, the kind of content that I create around building your ultimate stream life balance and helping you to achieve better productivity in life as well as streaming, not necessarily stream growth, that's not the kind of content I produce, but more around the productivity side, that could be considered coaching. So therefore I'm more likely to be inclined to recommend coaching and say it's something that's valuable and beneficial to everyone. So I'm going to try not to do that and be as balanced and objective as possible. And the second caveat I want to share with you is that I have actually gone through executive coaching myself for about 2 to 3 years at my previous company, which I left last year. They employed a coach for me and a bunch of others inside the company, and that this person helped me to develop my career professionally, while also helping me with other areas of my personal life as well. So from that perspective, I've engaged with a coach professionally. I've seen the benefits of it. I've seen what's involved in the process of coaching and how you can get the most out of a coach. And with that in mind, I am a firm believer in coaching. So while I will try to be balanced and objective, naturally I'm going to be more inclined to recommend coaches than I'm not, because I do see the benefits and the value of having a coach. So if coaching is so great, why in particular is Stream Coach Academy getting such a fierce backlash on Twitter? And from what I can tell, and it is mostly on Twitter, there's probably YouTube videos on the subject as well, but I haven't seen them yet. And so it is very much based on limited research and just threads that I could find on Twitter, even after performing my own searches. Like I said before, it mostly seems to be stemming from streamers who are already established, probably don't need to follow the common advice videos that most of us will have seen, particularly if we're new streamers trying to grow and improve our streams, because they've already been there, they've done that, and the ways they grew back in the day are very different to the way that we need to grow as streamers today. And then after that, it is those fans and those people that want to be seen to be allied with that streamer and want to jump on this bandwagon and almost create this fierce pot of outrage just to show any stream coaches that, you know, almost like they're not welcome, and that anything they produce has zero worth, is a complete scam, most likely because these other streamers, they've done it without any coaching whatsoever. It's all self-taught, so there's this belief that everything is self-taught. And as well as that, there's of course a plethora of free content, particularly on YouTube, of exactly how to grow and improve your stream. Even videos like mine could be considered to be part of that free content as well. And I can guarantee you this reaction would be nowhere near as strong nor as public if it wasn't these big streamers that were trying to make a contentious point of it. And before we go any further into why I think this stream coaching is good or bad or not, I just want to give you a bit of a background into this whole area of Stream Coach Academy, just for those of you that aren't initiated. And this might come across a bit fanboyish, perhaps, but it's just me explaining, or at least interpret it as this. It's my understanding of what stream coaching is and where it's come from and why it's here. This isn't me trying to sell it or promote it in any way, although of course any video and any publicity is good publicity. But it starts with a YouTuber called Ashnichrist, who started streaming around 7 or 8 years ago, and she's now started this business called Stream Coach Academy. And it's off the back of her success with Twitch, and in particular becoming a Twitch partner, I think a couple of years ago. And this was off the back of a real concerted 4-month growth effort where she was able to grow her following and reach Twitch's requirements to become a partner in just those 4 months. And which, yes, she had a lot of experience before that 4-month effort. She'd probably been streaming for about half a decade by that point, but when you consider she was nowhere near to becoming partner to then becoming partner in 4 months, that's very impressive by anyone's standards. And whichever way you slice it, whether she had 5 years of experience beforehand, whether she did it in 4 months, you know, it's kind of up to interpretation on that particular point. So really, whichever way you look at it, it's still a massive achievement. And what Ashni has done is she's recognized that there are more diverse ways of generating revenue and income for yourself through your stream knowledge and your experience and your skills, besides using Twitch and YouTube. And in fact, she rarely streams today. I've been following her for probably 3 to 4 months now, and I don't think she streamed once in that time. And if she has, I haven't seen her go live in that time. I must have missed it. But now what she has done is she's, instead of relying on Twitch, has her income stream, and she still does a lot of YouTube content, so she will naturally generate money through her advertising revenue and her sponsorships there. But what she's now done is she's monetized this knowledge and experience and the skills she's accumulated through becoming a partner on Twitch to now create Stream Coach Academy, which is a 2-month program aimed for people that want to gain access to group coaching sessions, and over these 2 months really see if they can improve their streams and grow their following over the course of it, and then apply what they learn for the long term. And yeah, besides the group coaching, there's a bit of one-to-one interaction as well, but I'm not going to go into tons of detail in this video because all this information is available elsewhere. She has a sales page for Stream Coach Academy. All the information you need is on there, and even in the application process, everything's on there as well. So if you really want to know everything there is to know about Stream Coach Academy, everything's online. But essentially, it has various modules as part of this 6 or 7 week program that allows or helps students to identify their perfect audience, build the story around why they want to stream, why they started streaming, and why people should follow them and become part of their community. It helps them build their content strategy and create that for them, and even it delves into the business side of streaming as well, which I think is a very interesting topic myself, coming from a business background, and something that not nearly enough streamers try to do with their own streams. And all of this is offered under a package that is worth $349, which I think was another point of contention when it came from the backlash from these other streamers, particularly as some of the messages on Stream Coach Academy were saying that this was a discounted rate, I think due to COVID-19 and the economic situation that we face, and that the normal fee for this would be around $500, which according to some streamers is extortionate and scam worthy. But for those of us in the UK, that $349, I've got the numbers here, is about £275, and the full price would be £400 for those 2 months. And if you're in Europe and you use the euro, that's €310 discounted, and €440 if you were going full price, just to give you some context there. And again, in this video, I'm not going to go into whether I think this is a good value or bad value, or it's a scam or it's not a scam, but hopefully just that overall description of what Stream Coach Academy is, what's involved, how much it's worth, gives anyone who's watching this who has no idea what Stream Coach Academy is an idea of exactly what's going on here. And now on with the main topic of this video. If I'm so keen on the idea of coaching, and in reality the Stream Coach Academy and what it's offering is exactly what I'd want to help improve and grow my stream, why exactly aren't I doing it myself? And in reality, there are 3 reasons for this, and none of them, again, have anything to do with whether I think it's a scam, and it in no way reflects the trust that I have in Ashni as a creator and a teacher. It's because of what the coaching requires of the students that take part in the coaching, and my own personal circumstances. So my 3 reasons are time management. I also want to do everything that I have ideas for on my own first and see if those work. And finally, the 3rd reason is financial reasons. So if we start with the first reason, the first is time commitment. And they say on Stream Coach Academy's application form, and I believe in its sales material, that it requires its students to commit around 2 to 4 hours per week, which, to be fair, sounds pretty reasonable. If you have a standard schedule of working and streaming and maybe seeing your family and doing the odd bit of housework, that's probably achievable for most people. I don't have a massive problem with that. But with me, if I think about my personal commitments, I'm barely able to manage my time where I'm putting in concerted efforts to just grow my stream off the back of my own ideas and things that I want to do. At the moment, I'm barely finding the time to do these YouTube videos, edit them, upload them, do all the social media and all that stuff, and then do my Twitch stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays as well as that. I didn't think I'd struggle as much as I am now for time, and this might sound really strange coming from someone that, you know, really harks on about stream life productivity and creating that balance for yourself. But yeah, it's something I'm struggling with at the moment, and I think it will get better with time, but I'm still just trying to build that process for myself and work out what my ideal schedule is. And just to put it into context for you, I say at the start of the videos, and I say at the end as well, that I stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And in fact, in July, I think I'm only going to be streaming 1 Saturday this month, and apart from that, it's just going to be on the Wednesdays that I stream. So for the most part, I'm only going to be streaming once a week this month. And the reason for that, and this is really the reason behind my whole lack of ability to commit to the time to these kinds of efforts, is because I'm getting, well, COVID permitting, I'm getting married in October, and so we're at that real crunch time of trying to make sure we get all the finer and final details ready for the wedding. At the moment, we're looking at my suit for the wedding and my groomsmen and their suits. I'm building a website, we're looking at wedding invitations, we're trying to sort out food for the wedding, and on top of all of these, finishing off the details of the things we need to sort out, we're having to do plan B for our wedding. We're not certain that our wedding's going to go ahead in October. So with all that in mind, there's all these other things that we have to juggle, where it might be the case that our wedding doesn't happen until next year. But at the moment, we still don't know if that's the case. So we've got this massive cloud hanging over us about whether or not it's even going ahead. So it's just these little things like that that are eating into my, not just my time, but also my mental state, where it's just, occupying more space in my brain than it really needs to. And for that reason, I don't think I'll be able to give the mental headroom as well as the time to making a real good go of coaching. The second reason I have is that I want to do everything I can myself first. And this partly goes off the fact that there is plenty of free content on YouTube, and I'm still getting plenty of ideas from those. But there's also other ideas I have on how I can better improve and grow my stream and promote it out there on various different channels. And while I'm particularly not giving myself the time to explore those ideas, when it does get to the time where I can explore those, that's when I want to really give those a good go. And in the meantime, I just want to make sure that before I pay money and invest in other people to help me with my stream, I want to make sure I'm doing all the things I can first, so that when I do, or if I do, engage in a coach for my streaming, that I can tell them, here are the things I've done, this is why I think they worked, this is where I think I could have improved, and this is where I think I could have done better. And then that way, that creates a far clearer path for coaching, rather than going to a coach and saying, oh, I've got all these ideas, I haven't tried any of them, I don't know if they work, please give me the success formula. Because people grow in different ways, and probably the first thing a stream coach is going to tell you is do those things first and see if they work. So I want to make sure my own ideas work first, and if they don't, I've got more specific guidance that I can ask for from the coach. And the third reason I have for not doing this is financial. And the main reason for that is not because I can't afford it, but it's already because I've invested a fairly decent sum of money into my streaming without actually having much of a return so far. So for example, before I even started streaming, I invested in a Blue Yeti microphone as well as a Logitech C920, which in December 2019 was the perfect time to do it, because I got the combined set for like maybe £150 total, which if you're looking for these kinds of devices now, they're double that, if not more, for the combined set. So I did quite well. And the other reason I had for buying those wasn't just for streaming, but also if I ever wanted to work from home in the future, I had the tools and facilities to be able to do that. And it's kind of hard to say, but that decision has technically paid off, but of course in the worst possible way. The other investments I've made into the stream are to have the color changing bulbs behind me, because I want to make sure that the set I have around my stream and the videos I create has some kind of ambience to it, and it's not just a ceiling light lighting me up, but I have something nice for viewers to look at. And then I've got 2 ring lights here which help to illuminate my face and add a bit more, I guess, clarity to the picture that you're getting. As well as that, what else have I invested in? There was something else. What was it? Yes, the Elgato HD60S Plus. The capture card, basically, which I use to capture Nintendo Switch gameplay. So I think when you combine that, which I think is £120 when I bought it, maybe a bit less, plus the Blue Yeti microphone and Logitech Logitech C920, which is 180, so you look at 300, plus the ring lights, which I think combined are about £60 total, so 360, plus the color changing bulbs behind me, which I got really good deals on, so they were like 40. That's already £400 I've invested into streaming and YouTube equipment. And yes, arguably the biggest expenses, the webcam and the microphone, are also used for work, but it's still quite a hefty chunk to put into streaming before you've even earned money. And obviously that's building up now as I'm streaming more and creating more content on YouTube, but it's still got to the point where I can't sustainably invest into coaching and not recoup that money I've invested within a fast amount of time, if that makes sense. So those are the 3 reasons: time, wanting to explore my own ideas first, and making sure my stream income is actually sustainable to a point where I can invest in greater efforts like stream coaching first and pay off all the physical hardware and equipment I've purchased in the first place. And now I've covered all of that, let's explore who stream coaching is for, or really any kind of coaching, and is it something that could be right for you? So the first few points are going to be based on my own personal circumstances because they are the first that come to mind. I've probably got about 6, 7, maybe up to 10 points in total about how you can decide whether coaching is right for you. So the first is going to be the time availability. Are you going to be able to put in the time each week to make sure you make the sessions that are involved with the coaches and you're having that time with them as well as the rest of your group? And are you going to be able to do the time outside of those coaching sessions to do your homework and apply what you learned to your own stream and your content creation? The second point I have is your willingness to learn and to be consistent, because this is something that is stretched out over a 6 or 7 week period, which, to be fair, is a very intense amount of time. Let's say you're doing one session each week, then you haven't got a lot of time to apply what you learn when you think about everything else that you might have going on in your life. So you really do need to make sure that over this period you can be consistent, you can make sure that you're turning up to the classes, that you are taking part in any group sessions that might be happening out of those, and that you are doing the work as well, because really what you want to be doing over this 6 or 7 week period is really taking as much that you can possibly get out of this coaching session so that you can really maximize the value that you're getting for your money there and your time. The next point I have, and I think this is quite an interesting one, and particularly for me, is do you need that accountability? Do you need someone to push you and hold you accountable to making sure that you don't just get things done, but you get them done to a high standard and you get them done on time as well? That's the most important thing, because we can all watch YouTube videos, we can read books, we can look at educational Twitch streams, and we can say, oh yeah, this is all interesting stuff, I kind of learned a few things here and there. But at least in my experience, it's one thing to watch the content or to read the content, it's another thing to digest it and to actually write it down and get it clear in your own head what it means and what your understanding is, and then to apply it. And what I often find is that if I have someone that keeps me accountable, I'm far more likely to crystallize those ideas into my own vision and then apply them into the real world with my own stream or anything else that I'm doing personal development related. The next point I have is, do you want your ideas validated? And really, this is the whole point of coaching, really, is that coaches can give you some direction and can give you some ideas, but if you're looking for someone to tell you specifically what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and basically give you a checklist of things to do and you do them and you don't really think about the why, then coaching really isn't for you, because that's not what coaches are there for. That's more of a mentoring relationship, and this video is nowhere near the scope to go into the differences between coaching and mentoring. But really what coaching is for is to help you uncover the own ideas in your own head and help you to bring out things that might be buried quite deep that you haven't even thought of, and really act as a bouncing board, so that as you're saying things, they're then asking probing questions to you, which then might help you to think differently. So if you're the kind of person that wants to help uncover ideas or even have your current ideas validated, then coaching could be very useful for you. The next point I have is very similar to stuff I've mentioned earlier. If you feel like you've exhausted the free content that's available on YouTube or generally online, or you feel like the advice you're getting from several different sources is just the same thing you're hearing over and over again, and it's just repeated in different ways, then it may actually help to have one-on-one time with a coach that's been there, done that, and has seen success, and might be able to give you more specific and unique advice to your situation. Because after all, the free online content out there is very general. It's meant to apply to as many different streamers as possible and not really take into account your own unique situation. And similarly to that note, do you feel like you've reached a plateau? Do you feel like you've run out of ideas, or you're very close to running out of ideas? Or do you feel you're otherwise not growing or experiencing the growth or improvement in your stream or any other kind of metrics associated with streaming that you're expecting, and you really need that push to take things to the next level? then again, stream coaching might be the right thing for you there. And that leads me quite nicely onto my next point. And again, it's something I briefly mentioned earlier. If you have a clear idea of what you want to learn or what you want to improve, or what you feel you need to learn extra, then coaching can also be right for you. But you also need to make sure that you're open to new ideas coming in. It can't just be what you think you know. You have to be open-minded enough to accept constructive discussion, and in particular constructive criticism from the coach as well, and to be able to have frank conversations with them on how truly you can improve and grow your stream, and not just do everything based on what you think you know. You're there to get their knowledge as well as to apply your own knowledge. And as well as that, if you feel like you have defined goals for this year for what you want to achieve through streaming, then a coach can be great, not just to help you achieve those goals, but they can actually help you to get to those goals a lot faster. A particular example with me is not specifically with coaching, it's with exercise and personal training, which to an extent is a form of coaching, where I was able to massively knock down the minutes of my 5 kilometer running time, which I probably could have achieved over the course of a year. But by working with a personal trainer and working on other areas of my fitness, I was able to see much more accelerated results. So I didn't have to wait for the year to achieve the kinds of times I was looking for. Instead, I could achieve it in months, and in some cases, some of the targets I had were achieved in weeks. And again, that's what a coach can do for you. It can be similar results, just accelerated. And the next benefit I have is really what's quite unique about stream coaching in general, is that they take on a class. They bring in a cohort of students. It's not like the executive coaching I had, which was just one-to-one. You can have a group session with other people in your class. So not only are you benefiting from knowledge and insight from the coaches you're working with, but it may also be helpful to bounce ideas from these other streamers that are going through the same process as you. They may be like-minded, they may be going through similar challenges, or they've overcome challenges that you're experiencing now. So you're not just benefiting from the coach's knowledge, but the streamer's knowledge as well. And that also carries with it networking benefits as well. And I know there's a lot of debate about how effective networking is within the streaming community, but these people in your cohort are likely to be quite, again, this is all, conjecture, it's all assumptions, but it's likely, or I'd like to think at least, that the people you're enrolled with on this streaming course are going to be the kind of streamers that you'll want to support moving forward, and they'll want to support you as well. So it may help from a networking perspective, and then you'll be able to share audiences and be able to direct people to other streams, and likewise they may direct people to your streams as well. After all, this is why people take MBAs a lot of the time. It's not just to have that master's degree sitting on their shelf or hung up on their wall, or to get that education. It's because of the connections they can create there as well, because a lot of the time you have very high performing individuals on those MBA programs who can then help you with job requests or connections, or finding ways to do business between companies because of that connection you had with them through this MBA course. And then my final point is on the financial side, and it could be right for you only if you can afford it. So if you said yes to a bunch of the things that I mentioned before, and you can afford it, then brilliant. I'd say go for it, see what it's like, and see if it works for you. I do believe that Stream Coach Academy has some kind of money back guarantee, and obviously I don't know how true to their word they are with that, or if they have certain criteria that you have to meet to be able to claim your money back. But if you can afford it, then I say coaching is one of the most valuable investments you can put into yourself practically ever. And if we take my own executive coaching into account at my old company, they paid for everything, which I'm massively grateful for. But I believe those sessions, or at least when I was leaving and I was speaking to him about maybe carrying on with him on a personal level, I believe the sessions were about £250 a session, which is just a little bit cheaper than the discounted rate for Stream Coach Academy. So if you think one session with this executive coach that was once every 3 months with a bit of follow-up in email in between, The price for that was just a little bit cheaper than an entire 6 to 7 week program with a group of stream coaches as well as a group of other streamers you can share ideas with. I'd say the value in that is pretty decent, and again, this is still very much a new market and a very new service to happen in the streaming market, so it's only natural that prices are going to be a bit funky as they work out what their ideal pricing model is. But I'd say if you're getting some kind of interaction over a 6 to 7 week course, and maybe you're paying, I don't know, let's say £50 per session, that's pretty decent value if you're really getting something insightful and learning a lot from those sessions. But again, it has to be one of those things where it feels like you could comfortably afford the sessions, and I think really it's aimed at those that are already getting a relatively decent income on Twitch, and I think I'd be more inclined to pay for this kind of service if I was getting the money to cover the expenses every, say, 2 to 3 months. And there you have it. Those are all my reasons why I feel coaching can be beneficial to streamers, but really to anyone in general. I think all of those pointers I gave there could be applied to any form of coaching, not just for streaming. And I really do feel that coaching has become a bit of a dirty word, particularly in the streaming industry, and that there's this perception that everyone is doing it, myself included. If you watched last week's video, you'll know all about that. I'll post it up there so you can watch that if you're interested. And really anyone that tries to monetize their skills, their experience, their knowledge, or even the resources that they create, it fosters this feeling among the community that that person is just trying to scam others. And unfortunately, it is the people who think like this that really could benefit from the coaching and having their minds open to different possibilities of how you can grow and improve and make money out of Twitch. But really, the ones that will be able to get the most benefit from this are those that are already open-minded to the benefits and they want to take advantage of these opportunities as much as possible. So if that's you, then yeah, you can totally benefit from coaches like this. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't scammers out there, because we all know that there are, and I'm by no means an Ashni shill at all. And in fact, there are some things that I do disagree with her on, but really the purpose of what I wanted to get across in this video is that coaching can have value, and it does have to be done right, particularly on the side of the coachee. And I'd say in a relationship, the coachee is responsible, probably I'd say, for 80% of the results that are generated from the coaching course, and the coach is more there to guide them towards that 80% result, and they'll provide 20% of the input. After all, the coach can only take you so far if you are not willing to put in the work yourself and apply what you learn. So, has this video changed your perception on coaching, or has it stayed the same? I'd love to hear in the comments what your perception was of coaching before this video, and if it has changed, what your perception of it is now. And if it hasn't changed, if it was positive or negative before and it's still the same now, let me know as well. I'm really interested, and I think the only way we can have these kinds of conversations and keep moving them forward is to have constructive discussion on this topic, rather than just resorting to outrage at the first opportunity we get, because just doing that and having arguments really helps no one. But if we can take a step back, explore the pros and cons, discuss why we feel negatively about something, why we feel positively about it, we can really help others to, move away from that outrage culture, and maybe they'll even be warmed up to the idea of coaching themselves. Anyway, that's all from me this week. I just want to remind you that I stream to Twitch on Wednesdays and Saturdays if you want to catch more of me in a live setting. And we also have a growing Discord full of like-minded streamers who are all looking to build their ultimate stream life balance and share great content from other amazing stream coaches out there on YouTube as well. So if that sort of thing interests you and you enjoy talking about topics like this, then feel free to join the Discord. We'd love to see you there. And if we don't see you there, then no worries. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.